Today we are going to make a Python program to play Hangman. So I'm going to use import to import the random module. And then we need to create a word list, call it words, where we're going to have some random words that it's going to choose from. Right, so there's my word list. And then we're going to get Python to choose a word for me. So we put it in chosen word. And we're going to use the choice function. And choice function shows it wants a sequence. And a list is a sequence. So we put the words list in there. And then to test it, we're just going to print it out. Very simple little program. Out. Chooses all the words. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to make a list that's going to keep track of all the guesses we make. So we're going to call that guessed letters. Right, so what this is going to do is it's going to go through each letter in the chosen word. It's not going to use the letters right now. And all it's going to do is populate the guessed letters with an underscore. Okay, see what that looks like. Okay, it chooses mouse and it makes a empty list. Okay, that is basically going to keep track of all the letters we choose. All right, now we're going to get the user to actually guess. Let's just call that guess. Ask the user for input. So now it's going to ask for a guess. Okay, it's going to ask the user to guess a letter and it's going to convert it to a lowercase. Okay, so now we're going to check each letter against the chosen word. And you do that using a for loop. Okay, so let's explain this code. So for index in range. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to check, it's going to make a range based on the length of the word. That's why we're using the len function here. And it's going to use the index to go through each letter. So it'll start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to the number of letters in the chosen word. And it's going to check if guess is equal to any of those letters. If they are, then it's going to take the letter and it's going to put it into the list at that position. Okay. So let's test everything now. Right, so it's camel. So I'm going to choose A. And you'll see it puts the letter A at position 2, which at position 1, because things start at 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it puts it at position 1, not 2. Right, so now it's chosen fishing. Let's use an I, so you can see it does put it in multiple places. So it puts it in 1 and position 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we know this code all works. Right, so basically we've got a semi-working program that does all the logic that we want it to do. Now we just need to get it to repeat this piece of code here. Okay, because this is where it's going to ask the user over and over again for to choose a letter. So I'm going to set up two variables here, lives to keep track of the lives, because in Hangman you have 6 lives. And then I'm going to track another variable, let's call it game over, so I can set up a while loop. And I'm going to set that to false. I'll set up a while loop to basically go around. As soon as this changes and it becomes true, then it will exit. But at the moment, this is going to go around forever because we're not changing game over. Okay, so how do we change game over? So how do we get game over to change to true? We have to check the number of lives. So to decrease the number of lives, we need to check, have we chosen an incorrect value? Right, so this if statement is going to check if the letter we selected is not in the chosen word. So if it's the wrong letter, it's going to decrease lives by 1. And eventually lives will become 0. So we need to then set that game over to true. So if lives, right, so now if the lives is less than or equal to 0, which means we've chose 6 incorrect choices, it's going to become true. Okay. Right, so that'll exit if we choose the incorrect values. But what happens if we have now guessed correctly and we actually have chosen the word correctly? So I'm going to then check for, it also needs to exit. So if, okay, so that's going to now check if we have guessed correctly all the letters and we have got the correct word, then it must also exit. Okay, and we're going to display a message here. Print, you win. And we're going to print, you lose. Okay, so that is basically a complete game. Let's just get it to run. Okay, so let's test it now. Right, exits and you win. Let's run it again. Choosing correctly. We should choose, and it exits, you lose. Right. But that's now, let's make this better. And we can make it better by putting some kind of Hangman art in here. So you'll see I have a Hangman file, which you can get the ASCII art from Google. Just Google it. And I created a list, Hangman. There's the art. And each position, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, will display me a different picture. So we're going to use this in the main program. You do that by just importing it. And we're going to give it an alias, so I don't have to keep typing that out. Okay, now where do we want to display the ASCII art? Right, at the beginning of the game. So we're going to print it here. And it's going to use the lives as an index to display the correct picture. Okay, right. Just put some spacing in there. Then we also want, so we wanted to print there, but we also want to tidy up here. I'm going to take this chosen word out, or let's put this in a better place. But we're going to also make it nicely formatted string. Okay, so it's going to display the graphic. It's going to display the picture and it's going to display the chosen word. And then we want our this here as well. Take that out there, put that below that. Okay, let's just tidy up here. Too many spaces here. All right, looks better. Okay, so it's going to set these values. It's going to display the first picture. It's going to display the word for testing, which you'll obviously take that out when you actually play the game with people. And then it's going to show the letters, the empty spaces, which is correct. And then it should go through this and yeah, let's give it a test run. Okay, so there's the graphic. The word is fishing. Let's make a choice. Let's choose something wrong. So the picture's not changing. So we're obviously not changing the picture. Okay, so where would we change the picture? So if you guess incorrectly, we're going to change the picture. So let's take that out here, copy it, and let's put that in here. So every time you choose incorrectly, it must change the picture, right? Okay, so that makes sense. So let's try that again. Okay. Let's choose it wrong. Oh, okay, there, now the picture's working. Let's choose another one, another one. Okay, so it's fishing. Let's choose something correctly. Okay, S. Okay, so that all works. N and G. So now it should exit. It says you win. Okay, we can make this a little bit better. But when you win, display the word. So say you win. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to the join function, where you can actually join things from a list. So you want to join it to an empty string. Dot join. And what do you want to join? You want to join guest letters. Okay, so it's going to take all the individual guest letters and it's going to join them together without any kind of spaces, and you should see a completed word there. Let's test that. Okay, so as you can see now, it joins the word and it shows the it correctly there. Let's just test it a few more times. So now it's telling me the word is mouse. Okay, correct word is mouse. Right, so now we can also put it in here. If you've chosen incorrectly and you lose, you want to maybe know what the answer is. Okay, but now we don't want to use the join here. We just want to say what was the chosen word. So the chosen word was chosen word. Okay, so if you lose, it must tell you what was the word. Okay, so let's test that. And let's choose incorrectly until we die. The word is boat. Right. Okay, so I think that's a pretty complete game. You can modify it yourself to make it better. You can obviously add more words in here to make it more challenging. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Like and subscribe to the channel and enjoy the Hangman game. Cheers.